Welcome to Missing the Point. Holy shit. We just watched the Celtics win a game by executing the proper way to play a basketball game and win on the road. Who fucking knew? Okay, I should be in a good mood. I'm here with two of my oldest and dearest friends, Hollywood Ray, Sean Buchanan, and the real BK, Bob Kelly. I am the ghost of Tommy Heinsohn, and I am DK Sizzle, Dave Clark, and I wanted them to work harder at points. I wanted them to do different shit. I was still just as mad at Joe Mazulla. It wasn't as bad as Game 5. A lot happened, and that's what we're here to talk about. Robert, how you feeling? How you feeling? Because I'm still mad, I think. I haven't decided. I need to bounce it off you guys. How you feeling?
Yeah, my blood pressure hasn't gone down all the way yet. Listen, it wasn't perfect by any means of the imagination. There's definitely moments where you saw that shit performance from Game 5 creep back in. But they righted the ship as we asked them to do, and won it in the end. I give Joe 5% credit.
No,
Maybe not for the game, just 5% credit for actually listening and making a goddamn adjustment for once in his life. He made like 2, which is crazy for him. Actually calling timeouts and double big all in one game, like whoa. But I'm happy. I mean, I'm happy. We got a Game 7.
Yeah. That was the goal. It was an ugly path, to be honest. Ray, let's start off positive, because if we start off negative, we're gonna be fucking outside Joe Mazzulla's house with torches by the 45-minute mark. So let's just start out positive and take some positives from the game. Jason Tatum, to have a game as bad as he had, probably shaping up to be an all-time star player playoff stinker. If it was. Yeah, difficult for me to remember a game as bad. The fact that he even had 1 point on the board, all the way through 3 quarters, made it worse. Like if he had a goose egg, that would have been something. But to have that 1 point could have made it worse. To then put his balls in his hand and fucking make those shots in the fourth quarter, to really just step up and take confident threes when he got the looks that he had all game, but they weren't going in. It wasn't like they were better looks all of a sudden. Although they did do a good job of defending him, I think that he's that dude in that moment. Like, he deserves all the credit in the world. What do you take from that? Is the stinker initially more hard to deal with, or are you just happy that he was able to snatch his performance from the fires of hell?
No, it's definitely a mix of both. It was really, really tough to watch. We thought that Game 2 was bad. We're going to 1 for 7 and having some reports. Obviously, they won by 30, so it wasn't as much of a story. But listen, to be 0 of 10 at the half, and then like I said, you had the 1 point, and now that you have 3 going into, the fourth quarter, it was just like, at some point, once again, I've said this time and time again on the show. I've said it in our group chats. I've said it, to other friends. Losing is not the issue to me. Once again, losses are going to happen, but it's how it happened. And my biggest issue was like, you got to go down swinging, which, he ended up doing. He ended up going down swinging, but it was like, you got to go down swinging. Like, you can't just fold like this. So it was cool to see him respond to that moment. I do think that where he has grown for what we saw last year in the finals is that he completely, fades out when things aren't going right offensively. For him to still have the rebounds, for him to still have the assists, for him to have the blocks that he had in this game, one on Harden, he had another one on Maxey late in the game. It let me know that he wasn't completely out of it. So that part was encouraging. But yeah, I can't go through another 5 or 21 performance. I just can't.
The thing that I learned from everything you just said that made me the most sad, though, is that you have other friends. That's fucking messed up, dude. Don't talk about your other friends. No, I agree with you. Here's the thing. Bobby, as you know, I was on the phone to NBA front offices in the meat of that slump for Jason Tatum. Like,
he was traded, bro. He's already on the Sacramento Kings. Yeah, he's already on the Kings, bro.
Trading him for some beans. That's throw a beanstalk to get me up to a giant. So that
got me. I would have taken Wembanyama. That's it. That's the only guy.
Yeah, no, I was ready to try. I was like, what about the Wembanyama sweepstakes? Are we eligible? So there was some low moments. Okay?
Dark times.
Now, listen, okay, you get emotional. Fucking game of basketball. I did thankfully say you were like, well, I'm not completely out on Jason Tatum yet. I was like, me neither. I'm just upset with him. So I'm glad that was at least established, but I was really fucking upset with him. Bobby, sort of the same question, but to sort of build on Ray's point, he had the ability to keep himself in the game, which I think is a little bit different than some of the kind of ghost performances of Christmas past that we've seen from Jason Tatum. The point Ray was making is like he will fade out of a game if it's not going well offensively. And I think we have to have a conversation about Jaylen Brown in that context too. But first, what did you see from him early in the game that kept him in the game? And did that affect his ability to actually, I know it's not scoring, but he was at least still trying to score. He was still trying to do shit. Do you think that helped him stay connected to the flow of basketball that was happening? Not to get too sports talk radio about it, but stay connected to that flow. And then that's why because if I was his coach, that's what I'd be pointing to. That's what I'd be telling him. I'd be like, dude, you stayed in the game. You made in the first quarter. You played great defense at times. Like, even during that little scoring run in the fourth, you were making big intangible plays on the baseline. That is what I would be telling him, to encourage him to keep himself in the game and not fade out of it completely. Do you think that helps?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, even Joe said it in the press conference when they asked him about Tatum. He's, he's like, he's and that he's driving, playing defense, same exact thing, man. That the defense to me is the biggest part, because Tatum always, when he's off, they still throw doubles at him, and he's pretty good at identifying the open man off that double team. He has at least one or two kickouts,
except at the end, right? Like it was almost like they were doing the smart thing by being like, he can still kill us, he can still kill us, he can still kill us. Like, stay on him. They might have maybe even gotten a little bit tired, because I think that we were running them like the way I've been wanting to run them for the entire series, which is like run fucking James Harden. Like, if you want, like, take him one-on-one, Jaylen Brown, like, like run him up and down the court. Then they set that screen and it seemed like really soft defense where he was able to sag off and get that first three. Do you think that like Philadelphia helped us out at all there? Like, I do think that like they were doing the right thing by still doubling Jason Tatum despite a fucking basic goose egg, right?
Yeah, it's funny because I said that in a group chat. Remember, I was like, guys, stop double teaming this man. He's not hitting anything. He's just mean at this point.
Right. But if you're gonna do it, don't give up on it in crunch time though.
Yeah, that was a rough look for them. That last 4 minutes was rough for Philadelphia, not gonna lie. But yeah, man, listen, I give them all the credit in the world, like you said. Those threes were the biggest buckets of the game. And to still have the cojones after that to go up there in crunch time and that literally, those 3 possessions were the game. Because what was it? 1 point gain?
Yeah,
up at that point
honestly,
when he hit
to the point where we couldn't even like if we were objectively watching the game, we could have seen that last bucket go in and been like, game, which you do a little bit in your heart and soul, but we were like, I don't know. They could still fuck it up, right? So on that note, Ray, let's pretend we're in your classroom, right? And you're trying to evoke the imaginations of the young minds that you're molding for the next generation to go out and fuck the world up. Hopefully a little bit less than we did.
Right.
You're looking through the eyes of a Philadelphia 76ers fan right now. Put yourself there. You're born and raised in Philadelphia. You've done some scumbag shit in your life now at this point that you don't want to talk about because of that fact. You just watched the fucking Sixers blow that. How upset with you now? Use your Celtics context in this too. How upset are you with Joel Embiid? I mean, he did the opposite of Tatum. Like, he was killing us all fucking game. He was making big defensive plays. And then all of a sudden it seemed like he wasn't even out there. And you can't blame his fucking knee because he was grabbing it every time he stood up and he was still fucking cooking us at will.
Mm-hmm.
He was spot at will. And then he just decided to not do that anymore. I mean, obviously as Celtics fans, we look at the Celtics first and we're ready to blame them or give them credit first. Like, that's how being a fan of a team works. But we talk about Joel Embiid fucking that disappearing act he pulled in the last 3 minutes.
Yeah. I honestly think it still stems from even what we saw like in game 4 too. Like, I felt like after PJ Tucker had to had to give him that pep talk, and it was just like, yo, like that shouldn't even have to happen when you you can do whatever you want. I mean, once again, it can happen in the locker room. Let me tell you that, man. It can happen in the locker room where you can, say, hey,
sure,
whatever you feel, but
not when the TNT cameras are on you though.
Yeah, but when you're showing that on the court. And, he's been known to be someone who whines and pouts and, he complains when things doesn't go his way. So whether it be with him and Ben Simmons, him and Jimmy Butler, when Jimmy Butler was there. So, if things aren't going, perfectly for him, that's when those bad behaviors start to come out. But I think from their side, man, it's like, look, it's been 40 years since they won the championship. And he's now joined Moses Malone. He's joined Dr. J as the only MVP. Well, obviously, Tamla, it's one of the 4 MVPs that's come through, that franchise. And I'm sure
AI
as
never
a
won
fan,
MVP.
say it again.
AI
Oh,
never won
yeah,
MVP.
sorry,
Okay, all right.
so 5. Sorry, my bad. It's late. Sorry, but it's just like it's been 40 years since you won the championship. It's been 22 since you made the conference finals. When that AI team went those years ago. So I'm sure their fan base is saying, what do we have to do? Because they've had some great chances in the past against us. But it's just like 40 years and counting at this moment. I'm sure they're saying, what more has to happen? We've had them on the ropes. We stole game 1. We stole game 5. Like, so it's just like, what more has to happen, for us to get past this team? So, once again, that's from a fan perspective. But if I'm in a locker room, I'm like, yo, we got a great chance of game 7. Like, we've already won 2 games here. We've had the best player in the series at times on the floor and Joel Embiid. So yeah, like, we got a great chance for game 7. But as a fan, I'm concerned. But if I'm a player, I'm like, yo, we've won there twice. We can do it for a 3rd time. Why not?
86 points from the Philadelphia 76ers,
That's
I
the
think
number,
is,
bro.
is the
That's
is the
the
key
number.
stat
Yes,
of this
100%.
entire day. We have on
100%.
the road. I mean, it might be a truism, but on the road, I think you got to be able to win ugly in a certain way. I think that we were helped by the fact that the refs were letting us play, but I think that the Sixers have been helped by that fact in this series also. So it's playoff basketball. I'm cool with that. A big challenge win down the stretch on Al's clear, mostly ball strip of Joel Embiid, which I think, to continue on a slightly of what we were just talking about, I think that was getting into Embiid's head a little bit. I think that the way that we were playing with 2 bigs on the floor was huge. The fact that Rob can go with him when he goes from one spot to the other, and then Al can rotate in for help defense was what was working down the stretch. It was what was working down the stretch. There's some shots by James Harden that maybe go in on a different night, but they're just that much more in front of them. They're just that much more have their hands up. They're just that much more fighting underneath screens, which I'm philosophically, I think you should go over screens. I just think you should, because you always end up to the side of the guy when you go under, but whatever. They were fighting at least underneath. They were getting in front of guys. They weren't letting them switch hard on them on pick and rolls. This should have come 3 games sooner, to be quite honest with you. And I think that's my biggest gripe with the whole thing. But Bob, if you could speak to the things that you were seeing out on the floor defensively on a nuanced level that makes a difference to you as a fan on the eye test, some of the stuff I mentioned, but also just the fact that what this team looks like when they're playing defense comparably to when they're fucking not trying. So from the jump, I thought, from the tip, they look like a different defensive team. Am I wrong?
No, 100% right. This is the squad we've been asking for. Or at least I've been asking for. I've been begging for this entire.
I thought we had this squad. We had the squad,
bro. And that's what I mean. Like, this is the team that can win you a championship, guys. The team that you can go out and have Tatum give a stinker in the first 3 quarters and still win this damn game because you played great defense all game, except when the double bigs weren't out there. And I'm
for
very
too
curious.
long in the 3rd quarter, which was the main problem.
I'm very, you said Embiid was cooking us. I'm very curious to see what the numbers were for Embiid with the double big on and off, because I have a feeling most of that damage that we saw was with it off. Because when it was on, he was shooting a lot of jump shots. And listen, I know Embiid has a good jumper, but that's what you want from Joel Embiid, because he's going to torch you at the rim. It's just what he does.
No, that's cool. It's a different thing, though, right?
Win,
it's a different thing that when but then game 5, though, when we were trying to play him 1-on-1, depending on who was out there, it wasn't working. We weren't adjusting, and he was just walking to his fucking spot and getting every time. And at least make that shot more difficult. If he misses 3 of those, 3 more of those that he might have if he weren't playing that defense, it's worth it. You know what I mean? Like, these are close games.
I think another thing that was key too was, late. They got the switch on Al a few times, but there was one.
But you can live with it a couple times as long as you play narrow, right? Like it happened, and they still played narrow. They didn't let Al get cooked outside. Then it's like, okay, well, we can still switch back if we come for help defense at the right time.
And the one possession, I think it was like with 2.5 minutes left, where they tried to get the switch. and Jalen just didn't. He did
Gotta
not
fight.
let it happen.
Gotta
He
fight.
did not let it. He's like, no, not today. And you saw the entire possession break down after that. So I do think it is encouraging moving forward to see that they recognize that switch coming for the first goddamn time all playoffs.
Yeah.
And didn't let it happen. And
A
it
lot of
affected
tape.
the game.
A lot of tape to use, because I was seeing in my dreams, or more actually my nightmares, my fantasies, I should say, PJ Tucker, let him shoot. I don't
2
care.
for
I've been
7,
saying
bro.
it since
7.
fucking game 2, bro. Like, I don't give a shit. Let him fucking go. If it means that you can rotate a second guard on James Harden and or rotate a second big on a fucking Joel Embiid, PJ Tucker kills you. That sucks. Okay, bad luck, guys. Tough luck. I mean, it. You know, on another night he might have missed fucking all those shots. Like, it is what it is. Like, he's not fucking. He's not Tyler Hero. You know, like, he's not that dude. And quite frankly, the thing that was driving me the most fucking insane is that across 5 games, you're not punishing them for having PJ Tucker in their fucking starting lineup in 2023. You should be killing them on that. Like, the fact is, right, he plays good defense on Jaylen Brown. So just take a fucking lesson from what they've been doing to you. Switch fucking JT on him deep, like close to the fucking, get the screen and switch close to the fucking halfway line. I want to see PJ Tucker try to turn around and run side by side with Jason Tatum in a full sprint. I would fucking pay money to see that. We never see that, right? You can't have PJ Tucker in your starting lineup and win a fucking series against us. It's crazy. So on that note, what adjustments are you afraid that they're going to make in Game 7? Because as much as Doc Rivers can blow a lead, blobbity blue, I think he coached a good game today, to be quite honest. I think he had a lot of good out of timeout plays, and I think he made smart rotations, and I think that Joe was keeping up more than I thought he was going to. But what adjustments are you afraid they're going to make, and what further adjustments would you like to see us make in Game 7?
So I think that he's probably just going to still encourage them to, get in the passing lanes. I think that Maxey and Harden were really good at that tonight.
Maxey's a baller, dude.
I'm a fan. I'm a fan.
Me too.
Outside of the series, like I'm a fan of this game.
I said it before the series started. I was like, I'm worried about Maxey going up a level. Like, that was my word.
Is he the best Kentucky player in the NBA right now? He might be. He's up there. He said he's one of the best Kentucky players in the NBA right now, right?
I mean, he's not better than SGA or he's not
SGA.
He's in that next tier though. He's phenomenal.
SGA made first team All NBA today, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. He's a monster. But no, I do think that the biggest adjustment is maybe seeing more of D'Anthony Melton, and maybe some Daniel House Jr. Who really, once again, to use your statement again, Daniel House Jr. being, a contributing member to a playoff team, once again, was not on the big regard.
That was honestly was making me so mad, dude. When he fucking D'd up Tatum.
I forgot that I remember him in Houston, having this type of moves he had, this series he had when he was there in Houston. So I think that's really the only thing they can get. I mean, like I said, I'm very surprised with what George Niang has done in this series. I mean, granted, when you play that hard, I guess that gets you on the floor.
What's his name? Loves him. The play-by-play. George Niang.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
We'll talk about fucking commentators. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. So yeah. I know. It is weird because they're pretty good outside.
I know. I love Doris Burke.
What the
fuck happened?
But yeah. I don't know. You would have thought that she married someone in the organization, but that's another topic for another day. But yeah, I think. But yeah, more Melton. I think maybe instead of doing a Harden and B pick and roll, maybe some more Maxey and a B pick and roll.
Yeah.
Only because Maxey can blow by most guys, maybe except for Jalen.
I think that half-court game, that half-court game, if it was a little bit more three-dimensional from them, we'd be getting killed a little bit more. Like, exactly to your point. Like, I just think
they're not. I don't think they're gonna be patient enough though. Like
that. Yeah, we were able to run them today. Yeah.
Yeah, I think, but I know you were saying about by design they should get to PJ Tucker, and I that is spot on. I totally agree with you. I just think sometimes what happens is if Joel Embiid is catching it that deep in the post, 9 out of 10 times, maybe I'll say 8 out of 10 times, he's probably looking to go up Because the double team today was excellent. Like for the most part, they came on the help when they were supposed to, and then they build out. But yeah, listen, I appreciate Tucker turns into a master of the corner three for that game. He turned into like Kelly Olynyk from Game 7 a few years
Yeah.
ago. Hey, I mean, but by so be it. But it can't be Harden, Maxey, or Embiid that has that type of night. But yeah, so that's the good thing that I think
I'm
about,
happy to
yeah.
sit here. If we fucking lose in Game 7, and that's why I'm happy to sit here and be like, whatever, dude. I mean, you can't bank on PJ Tucker hitting fucking 9 threes. Like, it's just nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing you can do about
if
that.
if the biggest adjustment they make is more Daniel House and George Niang, I think we're doing okay in Game 7. I gotta say, because
Daniel House, I'm
that's
pretty sure that we all have better bodies than Daniel House on the fucking podcast. That guy looks like he plays at the Y every other week. He can't be killing you. You can't be killing you like that. Like, that's too crazy.
I'll throw something out there for you guys. Game 1 is probably the best.
I'm so mad.
I know we lost, all these games. I think James Harden needs to play by himself. I think that's the adjustment I would make if I was Dog.
You're gonna sit Joel Embiid.
No. I say you let Harden run that second team, man. Let Harden cook by himself, because that's clearly when he's better, because he's garbage when Embiid's in there. He's been garbage the last 4 or 5 games. He had
I don't know. That pick and roll they run together is hard. It's hard to
pretty deadly. Yeah,
he's 4 of 16 tonight. 0-6. I just feel
he had
like
a bad game tonight. I feel like he was still getting the looks that he had been getting previously. They just weren't going in though. And I do think like a little bit, we just played a little bit harder defense on him. And I think we made him play a little bit more defense. Like, he actually came through a couple of times on a couple of plays defensively,
which is weird to see.
We figured out how to fucking play against James Harden in his prime in the playoffs, like years and years ago. Not us, like the NBA. Like, you just have to fucking isolate him, like, and make it just, you can cook him on defense. Like, you can, like, Jaylen Brown can't. And the thing that's annoying me about it is I kept saying to you guys, get Brown off Harden, because he was just getting those like veteran looks on Brown. Like, he was just making him foul him. He was like suckering him in. Like, those were just happening, right? Which that's fine. It's like, that's James Harden, dude. Like, he's been really good for a really long time. And like, you can be a fucking hater in a comment section being like, oh, he's fucking old, whatever. Like, it's fucking James Harden. Like, okay.
He's still going to be James Harden.
He's still fucking James Harden. That's the shit he does, right? You got to get yours back. Like, you got to get yours back when you have the fucking ball in your hands. You got to be like, all right, you got me there. That's fine. You tricked me. Let's see if you can keep up with me athletically when you're playing defense. Because fucking spoiler alert, no, you fucking can't. You're James Harden. So Jaylen Brown, I think, just needs a little. And again, this comes down to coaching. This is the thing that's fucking annoying me. Like, there's different kinds of coaching. There's tactical coaching, which he's fucking up. There's man management, which I'm about to illustrate. He's also fucking up. Go talk to Jaylen Brown and be like, yo, go get yours back when he does that to you, bro. Like, go get it back. Like, yo, give the ball to Jaylen, like, from the fucking sidelines. Like, let him get it back. Those little individual battles are what make up a basketball game. Like, if you watching it on TV and listening to fucking Doris and Greg or Craig or whatever his fucking douchebag name is talk about it, isn't going to give you the experience of playing or being near a basketball game. And it is all individual one-on-one battles. Like, yes, help defense matters. Yes, zone defense can come in and play a factor, but you got to go get that back, because he can't get in a rhythm against you like that. So, I think they're trying to play team basketball. I get it, but like, even collectively on the floor, you got to go, like, you got to give him a chance, like, in the next 2 or 3 possessions to go to try and get that back off Harden. So I want to see more of that in Game 7. Let me ask you this. I'm really still mad at Marcus Smart after watching that game. Like, some of the decision-making down the stretch is fucking abhorrent. It really is still. Ime didn't accept that shit. Like, he was like, if you're playing sloppy, you're coming off the fucking floor. Like, you're not going to do that shit right now. Like, it's at the worst possible time. Am I overreacting, Ray? Am I overreacting?
For tonight, yeah, you are.
I mean, did you see the fucking like dumb layup that Rob Williams had to save from him? Did you see the fucking pull-up jump shot when he was fully guarded when we had time on the clock? Like, this.
I also saw him rip the ball out of Joel Embiid's hand and set the tone early. Like, he was on tonight. I'm sorry. Other games in the series, sure, I'm with you.
Okay, well then fine. I'm happy to blame. I'm happy to blame Joe Mazulla. Then I don't think he should be taking shots at fucking crunch time. That's
fine, but so yeah, 22-7.
Totally okay with you blaming Joe.
And me and Bobby talked about this on the show the other night. The game he had tonight is the game I thought he was going to have Game 5. I thought he was going to have a 20-point. So it just flipped around. I thought he was going to have that
I don't
game.
know, man. I
but
maybe I was looking at it wrong, but I saw some low moments from him. Like I thought one-on-one defense.
But I mean that's
like,
always the case with him though. But I just think with tonight, like I said, for him, that play early on in the first quarter when he ripped that ball in the beast hand, I was like, yeah, he's locked in right now. Like you could tell when certain Modulo, I don't know what market we're getting, but when he's diving on the floor, when he's like I said, rip, like not like, oh, let me go and try to, like, he yanked that ball out of Embiid's hand. I say, yeah, he comes down, hits the first three. I was like, oh yeah, he's here tonight, and he set the tone for us. And then thankfully, him and Brogdon saved us in the first.
Brogdon was the player of the game.
Oh my god, yeah,
Brogdon was the fucking player of the game.
So
that's like undisputed. Some of his shots down the stretch in the third quarter, I mean, we're out of that game if Brogdon isn't in there. It becomes too big of a hill to climb if he doesn't keep us in it right around like the 60s and 70s.
MVP number 2 is Rob, right? There's no doubt about that. It's Brogdon and Rob are the MVPs tonight.
Well, but when you give Rob the chance to fucking play his game, I mean, he was put in such a fucking bad position in Game 5, like consistently needing to go everywhere with Joel Embiid is like not
what he does.
It's not
man.
fair. Well, it's not fair to ask anybody to do that.
It's honestly not what he does against
at
anyone,
all.
though.
At all
Against anyone, regardless of it's Embiid.
Al can kind of do it, right? And he's had good moments against Embiid, and I like him on it primarily, obviously. Like, that's fine. I just think he could use the help from Rob in the smart ways, which is like playing Rob in the position that he's most useful, which is you can guard PJ Tucker, but like you can completely show him no respect, which is what I've been asking for.
Play on the field. That's
you got to let him. But we said, yeah, exactly. Like last year, he was a strong safety most of the year last year, where you just let him roam and do his thing, man.
Yeah, I mean, you can still put him on an island and kill him though, like, and that did happen a couple of times, and I think Joel Embiid like sees that. But again, with the coaching, like the overall theme of like what I'm trying to get at here is like we should be so much fucking better than this team night in and night out. Like on a depth of fucking talent basis, we are so much fucking better than them. We just are. Like, I understand they have the MVP of the league, and I understand they have James Harden, but it drops off pretty drastically after Tyrese Maxey, right? And I think that when you look at these two teams on paper, I'm mad that we're in this position in the first place, and I'm mad that a couple of small adjustments could have made that game a lot less high heart rate, adrenaline-fueled fucking pump down the fucking stretch where Jason Tatum has to put up 3 shots that he did not look like he could make for the entire game to kill it off. Like, there's just little... I understand. We praise their defense, and I think we should. Individual performances, I think that's fair. I think that there's different ways to see different aspects of individual players' games, but they're still not consistently being put in the positions to play their best games, unless they're demanding it. Of themselves in the game if they're not getting it, and I think you can see that across the individual performances. Like I don't understand. I don't want to put a damper on it, but I don't understand how we win a championship with this coaching. I don't see it. I can't understand it. I know he did better tonight, but like you were even saying, Bobby, like, is there somebody in his fucking ears? Is he wearing a Bluetooth fucking headset or an AirPod or something? Like that. It's just
but
like
you know what it was though, in my opinion. And I think we talked about this in the group chat too, because it was sick or swim, do or die, whatever analogy you want to use. It takes away the thinking.
Yeah.
When you don't have to think much, you're like, yo, there is no tomorrow. It's either we do this or we were out of here. It's like, okay, I'm just gonna. It's balls to the wall. Whatever happens, happens. Live with the results.
Fuck it, we ball.
So my thing is, if you coach like that the rest of the playoffs, then we might have something. Until then. Then we're going to have moments like how we've had in this series. So I just think if you just say, okay, I'm just going to have this fucking mentality. Once again, and I feel like that's how NBA coaches have last year. It was like, okay, like you're not going to get X, Y, and Z on us. And if we get the ball down here, Tatum's going to score for the mid post, Brown's going to get to the hole, or we're going to throw the lob to Rob. Like there was many ways for them to break you down last year. And with the I just thought the ball movement was a little bit better. Tonight.
Well, they're moving off the ball, which is fucking nice to see.
Right, exactly. So yeah, I just think that's what it is. Like when you don't have to think as much, and it's like, okay, now it's like there is no tomorrow. So now okay, cool. And it leads to what we think about Sunday. It's like, yo, I'm looking for at least a 42 to 43-minute game for Tatum and Brown. Like you have 2 days of rest. There's no excuse. You should be up there from 42
There's times
to
tonight I
45
wanted
minutes.
Jason Tatum to
Like
sit the fuck down. To be honest.
that's how I see it.
Did you?
You cannot lose this game on Sunday. But so I know we'll get into that, but that's just my first thing I think about.
So sorry to interrupt here, but so you guys have all obviously we heard it with Tatum tonight. All the subtle shade that's been getting thrown at Joe, where the players are like, "Bro, come on, what the fuck are we doing?" Marcus Smart interview tonight, right?
Oh no,
Marcus Smart, bro. Marcus Smart on the lineup change. I was ecstatic about it. That just goes to show you Joe's learning. He said Mazulla has come under fire, and rightfully so. Did say Mazulla has put the Celtics in a spot to win, bro. I'm telling you, this team doesn't like Joe Mazulla. They do not like him, and
I don't
they
think
don't
that
like
they
the way he
anything
coaches.
him, Bobby. I don't think that they anything him.
They
I
don't
don't
respect
think that
him. They don't
I don't
like
think
him.
that they respected him when he came in. I think that the way that they were talking about him when he came in at the start of the season was like, yeah, we love little Joey.
Yeah, whatever.
We
Yeah,
love
exactly.
little Joey.
We'll
But it's
be
hard.
okay.
It's like the fucking towel. He was like the towel guy, basically. You know, like we got pipped by Danny Ainge for our like very smart assistant coach. We got fucking, you know, Ime just had like that incredible riz and just like couldn't put it down. Just like had to smash. I get it.
Bro, that thing must hang down to his knees.
He banged the fucking wrong shit. And now we're fucking stuck with Joe Mazulla, you know, who probably has a very average dick, you know, a very average dick. So I just think,
Jesus.
I just think
He's in the NBA again. It couldn't have been that bad now, right? I mean, he's already in the NBA, so
you know, like, it's like you can actually see it. Like, remember when we started out Ime's first year, we like didn't win a lot of games, and we were like really slumping. And like second half of the season, Ime's like, I'm gonna start showering with him, and then all of a sudden they were like, we respect him. We respect him. We'll do what he says. Look at the fucking thigh slapper on that guy. He must know something. So that's how the story goes. That's how the legend goes.
Oh
You
my
know,
god!
listen, I don't know.
That's fucking wild. That's wild.
But speaking of speaking of huge dicks, Marcus Smart came out and said that, huh? That's funny. Yeah, he's not wrong.
I just thought I had to say it. I had to say it. You
know? No, he's not wrong. I mean, I just think I don't have a ton of fun watching Joe Mazulla learn on the job, and I wish that he had have learned during the regular season when all this shit was still happening. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's just that quote is so funny to me because it took him until Game 6 of the Eastern Conference semifinals to learn when to call a fucking timeout.
I just wonder, though, like, I wonder how, you know, you have a lot of basketball minds in that building, you know, and like Joe is a young coach, and like you have to give the head coach like rope, obviously, like you can't like undermine or disrespect the head coach, but like I just wonder if someone turned around and was just like, you got to wake the fuck up, dude. Like you're fucking this up for us right now. Like you got to, I don't know what
Very
you're doing
possible.
out there, but like
Very
you're not
possible.
doing a good job. Like if Brad Stevens was doing his job, like I think waiting until it was do or die and being like, all right, I got to say something because that game 5 was his fault through and through. Like that game 5, not being able to motivate your players, not being able to make the right defensive switch calls, not having the right rotations on the floor, not calling timeouts at the wrong time, right time. It's like literally at that point, it was like, yo, Joe, everything you did in game 5, just do the opposite. Any instinct you have, go the other fucking direction. Because I've never seen anyone get everything wrong. It's like, even if you just guessed on a test, you would get some points. You know, you'd be like, you know, when you would be like, I didn't study for this at all, but I'm just going to guess. And like, chances are I get at least a 25%. And then you still get back like a 16. It's like, wow, that took some fucking effort. I got everything wrong. It's bad. Okay. So I'm still like not looking forward to this game 7. Like that's the unfortunate thing. Like we're in a conference semifinals game against our historic biggest basketball rival in the Eastern Conference. And a team that over the course of this iteration of said teams, we have fucking owned. We have just beat their asses. And we're going into a game 7, and I'm not thrilled to watch Celtics basketball. Like something's up. You know, it's just going to be a lot more frustration. And what I hope doesn't is I hope he doesn't go like, well, I did it. Gonna go back to my instincts. I'm obviously great. So that would be a worry.
I think we'll know early. We'll know very early.
We're gonna know right away.
Yeah, right away. Because with this team, especially at home, for some reason, you know when their assholes are puckered. You know what I mean? They missed the first 6 shots, and all of a sudden it's 12-2. The crowd's booing. It's just that they're fucking done from there.
I hope they
All of a
don't
sudden,
boo
it's
at
down by
12-2. Jesus.
You know what I mean? But they might after game 5, bro. It's very
dude, I
possible.
would hate to be in that
honest-
building. What was that
honestly-
like, Ray? The atmosphere must have been fucking really bad.
Oh, for game 5, you mean?
Yeah.
Must have been hostile. I
yeah,
thought
oh,
they was
yeah.
gonna riot, bro.
It was the range of emotion was crazy. Then obviously those final minutes, like fans was just like, you know, the F bombs, the you bitch, you fucking cunt, you saw like, I mean, you name it.
Yeah,
It was being
Wait,
thrown out
are you
there.
sure you weren't in my living room?
It might have been 18,000 of you in there. It was wild, but
Also, it was a Monday, so everyone was
I
already
was there,
pissed
just
off.
like I was there, just like I was there for the Bulls game. Something like I don't know. I just to me,
Bad luck, bro.
maybe, but no, I was there last year. They got to the finals, so we'll see. But no, I just think that, yeah, I'm not. It's gonna be a good one. It should be fun. I remember the Milwaukee one last year. I remember, you know, people were antsy, and it's funny. Like, I have to say this now that it's actually happening, and I wouldn't have told the story. But so last year, like I said, just like, you know, they lost, lose game 5, win game 6 in Milwaukee. But I remember after, like, people we're getting dressed in the locker room. People were like, yo, see you Sunday, see you Sunday, see you Sunday, see you Sunday. And I remember after game 5 the other night,
This was not the fucking attitude.
not to say he was getting dressed, and people was like, all right, Ray, like, love you, brother, like,
Wait,
enjoy
real?
yourself, big dog. And I was like, all right,
You have a great summer,
Like-
buddy.
it was crazy. So Aaron, what up, baby? Like, I'm gonna see you Sunday. We there, man.
Yo,
Aaron,
that but
JJ, what's good, man? I'm gonna see you Sunday. But oh my God, like that, it was not. The energy was not the same. We was like, we're not gonna be here Sunday. We're gonna be off for the next 2 months. Like we were, yeah. People were distraught, man. People were hurt. They were hurt.
but that goes to prove exactly what we said at the beginning of this playoffs, where the vibe is just different
Yeah.
with this whole team. You know what I mean? From top to bottom, the vibe is different. Like me and DK last year, right? Went to battle with this podcast over the Celtics team. Went to battle to the point where, like, people were getting fucking pissed at us because of how much we were sticking up for this fucking team. This year,
I don't remember. It's one of many times someone was pissed at me.
yeah, Seb,
They
people
all
were getting
fled.
pissed. That's all.
I'm just kidding. I remember.
This year is so different, though. Like,
Yeah, we're the two most vocal. Like,
we're
haters on this
like
team.
fuck this team, bro. And it's such a different vibe.
The vibes are off, bruh.
Yeah.
The vibes
Yeah.
are off.
It must be all the weed, bro. We just feel it. You know, it comes from the TV.
Yeah,
This is stressing me out.
I'm excited last year. I'm like, you know, it's fucking over. They haven't lost two
Get
fucking
so
times in a
mad.
row.
We'd get so mad. We'd be
I'm like, dude,
bro.
like, fuck him.
Dude, I mean,
This year we're like, yeah, bro, you're right. This game's fucking over.
No, because they can't make me laugh so hard the other night. Oh, like, congrats on being right, bro. I'm like, I don't want to be fucking right. I don't want to be
But
right.
I mean, it was just
I don't
different.
wanna
It was
be
just
right.
different.
I was just like,
I'm like,
I was
it's
just like, are you?
it's
I was
what they do.
honestly, I
It's
was
what they
honestly
fucking
fucking.
are.
When I said that to you, I was apoplectic at my house. Like, I thought one of my eyeballs was gonna come out of my fucking head. I was by myself. My wife was out all day because obviously she's home from work because the fucking writers are striking right now. She was out all day, and she's like, "I'm gonna drop the dog off to you. The dog's tired, and I'm gonna go out for some like more errands or whatever." I'm like, "All right, cool." And I must have sounded like a crazy person. My neighbors are like I was abusing her or something because I was screaming at the television and my dog was looking at me weird, like shit was getting weird. And then you came into the fucking chat and started doing a victory lap about how you were right that this team sucked. And I was like, "Oh, congrats, Ray." I'm like, way to be fucking right, dude. I'm like, good God. I feel like I'm about to get arrested for a fucking noise complaint for a fucking domestic. Thank God she's not even here. And Ray's like, "I fucking told you so." I'm like, "Oh, cool."
Yeah, dog protective services called on you.
So
The DPS, bro.
I thought that, honestly, I was so fucking upset. I thought the dog was
talking.
talking back to me at that point.
Oh,
I
shit.
thought I was hearing the dog's responses.
Fuck you, Joe Mazulla. I mean, dog.
Yeah, fucking
Yeah.
dude. I couldn't believe it. And like honestly, I look, like Bobby, you said it. You're like when I look at Joe Mazzulla's face, I get mad. And I'm like, dude, I know. Because like you're saying my thoughts. Like Because he's making dumb faces, first of all. At least he's not chewing gum anymore.
Every
but
time he pops up on the fucking screen, I'm like, get him the fuck off the screen. Please get him off the screen.
Dude, there was a moment where do you remember like it actually kind of helped us this period of the game where it was like 81-81 and like there was like a timeout, there was like a challenge that was successful for them. There was the clear path foul, and then they
that's the
sent the wrong
525
shooter. Yeah, they sent the wrong shooter to the line, so then they had to retake the shots because it had to be Tyrese Maxey because it was a clear path and not a take foul.
Right.
So there was all this like weird stuff, which kind of stalled the momentum of the game and kind of leveled the crowd out. It like sort of helped us. But like right at that time, when they were talking, they were given the clarity of like why it was like they had to give the points back, and Doc Rivers was obviously being like, "Yeah, that's fucking stupid. We took the fucking free throws. Just get on with it." And Joe Mazulla walked over and he was just Gomer piling in the fucking in like he was just like nodding like yeah. No, for real. Oh, no, fucking Joe Mazulla. And I was like, dude, what? Fucking you just looked them from here.
Oh my God.
And like the fact that it's like, dude, honestly, like I want to be on everybody's like a Celtic or Celtic adjacent, but like, bro, like you're it's like you just completed basketball 101, you know? Like you lied on your resume, motherfucker. We know you don't know. Like, did you play baseball? Is that what this is? I just can't with this guy. And you're right, Bobby. He was like a fourth coach last year.
Yeah, fourth coach. He
wasn't. That
Yeah,
knows how to like knock out Al Horford, rotated on James Harden 17 fucking times in one game. He couldn't have bounced someone.
For the first time, I got. He made an adjustment. Okay, he did exactly.
Yeah, but we're going off zero, Bobby. We're going off zero.
I know.
We still beat this Philadelphia team just based on tiny fucking dumb. Like, of course you should make that adjustments. You know what else?
It's so funny because that was the most obvious adjustment ever. And it's like, it took him fucking 6 games. You're going up against the MVP, Joel Embiid, who is not a guard. You don't need all your star guards, okay?
3 guards out there once tonight.
This team is.
That was actually a good lineup tonight, though. That was a good.
It was a good lineup at times, but like I thought that there was moments, especially in the third quarter, where when that lineup was out there, Tatum and Smart just disappeared because it's like they're just going to be like, okay, cool, we'll double Jason Tatum. Marcus Smart can't seem to get himself involved, and we were lucky that Malcolm Brogdon stepped up. Like we were lucky, but we shouldn't be asking Malcolm Brogdon to win us fucking playoff games in fucking do or die situations.
No, that's why he was brought here.
Yeah, that's why he's here. Yeah.
He's right here.
I agree. I know.
He was here to be the dude in Game 6 when the fucking dude has 0 points on the fucking board. There should be 4 guys lining up ahead of him to make those fucking shots. Come on, man. Like Jason Tatum had a goose egg at that point.
In that case, yes, but we had claimed it all year that he was the missing piece. We can't say that and then not like he did what he was supposed to do tonight.
No.
Like,
I'm not taking
that he struggled. Like, that's what
I'm not taking anything away from Malcolm Brogdon. Again, I am just shitting on Joe Mazulla. Just to be clear, Derek White, right, steps up and makes shots tonight, big shots, right, at times. Why is his shot falling up? He's clearly a confidence player that his coach completely fucking abandoned. Right? He's clearly a confidence player, right? And you get all this confidence right into the playoffs, and then Missoula's like, I don't think we need to see like second team all defense, Derek White out on the floor. I don't think we need that. We're good. We'll be fine. Well, let's not let him get in a rhythm in the playoffs. It's cool. And despite that, Derek White's like, all right, I got to come in and contribute. Like I haven't had a good series. I'm gonna come in and fucking contribute, even though I kind of need to get.
He made a couple big shots.
Couple big shots. You know, and then he had a heat check shot that he missed and he fucked up, which is fine. I'll take that. You know, it's all good. I will also just point out as we wind down to the end, how many minutes did Grant Williams have? If we want to talk about adjustments,
0.
We want to talk about adjustments. You can't. Grant Williams in Game 5. Grant Williams in Game 5.
What, he played 19 minutes in Game 5?
He gave away. Every single time he defended Joel Embiid, he just sent him to the line. Every single fucking time. It was absolutely fucking pathetic. I'd rather Marcus Smart defend him. I'm not even kidding you even a little bit. I'd rather Marcus Smart go to Joel Embiid. He can kind of get in his head a little bit. Yeah, look, I'm obviously not thrilled. I would love to see us win a championship, but like I just can't. My brain won't compute Joe Mazulla, you know, holding up a fucking championship trophy this year. I'd love to be wrong, but I've also been watching all these West games. I'm missing the Suns and the Nuggets right now, but I'm watching all these West games. These teams are so good. Like they're so good. I don't see it. I don't know. I don't mean to be negative. You know, I hate being negative, but anyway, Game 7. I guess I should ask you guys for your predictions. And you know, give me some detail on how you think this is going to go, because we've seen a lot of different iterations of this Celtics team, and maybe give me some scenarios, Ray, on I mean, Bobby said we'll see it early. What do you think this Game 7 looks like, and what do you not want it to look like?
Well, I mean, we definitely don't want it to look like how the end of Game 1 went, but I do think that's how the game is going to go. Like, I don't think it'll be a blowout either way. I think a lot of
it's a
guys
Game
will
7, right? Like, it's just a Game 7's a Game 7.
So I think a lot of guys will hit big time shots on both ends. I do think if we get a flurry, whether it be in the third or the fourth, I feel like if you just get 1 or 2 flurries in the second half, like you'll be heading to the conference finals. Once again, I just think if you at least follow some of the recipe, once again, and no 2 games are the same. But once again, I have to give you credit, Dave, because I think you and I did a show maybe it was like towards the end of the regular season, and I think Rob was just coming back, and I was all for him being up eventually. I thought it managed the minutes, and I know you were saying eventually he'd had to be on it for 30 minutes, and obviously we see tonight he plays.
He was
30
averaging
minutes.
18 minutes coming into this game. That's not
Right. Yeah. So it was ridiculous. So you were way ahead of the curve on that. I was just on like, if it wasn't broke, don't fix it, but clearly it had been broke for most of the series. So I'm glad that they made that adjustment and took heed to what you and many others were saying on that. So that's good. But yeah, close game. Like I said, I expect a lot of big time shots to be made on both sides. I thought that we would get a Tatum triple double at some point in the series, so maybe it's Game 7. Who knows? So I'll ride with that.
Bobby, same question. I'm just reading the little thing he sent me, filling out the Jason Tatum apology form. Just for the record, like it's like
the reasons are great. Did you read the reasons?
It's funny. It is funny, but I just have to say, like, when you're in the midst of watching a game for like that from Jason Tatum, like, if somebody comes over and like punches your mom in the face, it doesn't matter that they bake you a fucking apple pie afterwards. Like, a lot of the time, like the performance, the performance that he put in up until he made obviously the biggest buckets of the game, which are undeniable, and honestly, it convincing that he was able to do that. Very fucking difficult to pull yourself in the throes of a turgid fucking performance like that and make those shots. You have to back yourself. I appreciate that. And that takes a lot of confidence, and it's very difficult to do on stage.
He clearly has that. If everyone heard his post game interview,
you know what you could not do though is you could not suck for 3 quarters. That would be great.
That'd be great.
Like that would actually made everybody's lives like a lot easier. Like it's not that complicated. You're literally the most talented player on the floor when Joel Embiid's not out there, and then arguably sometimes when he is. So I just think would be nice if you didn't suck for that entire game until the end. It's like the kid who comes in for the group project, and it's just like the teacher, like, he dazzles a little bit in the presentation, but he wasn't there for the whole work. And the teacher's like, wow, really great preparation, Dave. I was that kid. So, here's the thing, Bobby, same question to you. What do you think that this team looks like going into Game 7? What's your best case scenario and worst case scenario?
Well, worst case scenario is exactly what I laid out before.
They get lost on the way to the Garden.
Yeah.
Joe Mazulla directs them down the wrong road. They're late for the game. They have to forfeit. He says it's good because they were trying to get there. They were trying really hard to get there, so it's fine.
They had the will to win.
They had the will to get there.
It was there. I promise. It was there. Yeah.
Sorry. Go ahead.
That's literally what he said after Game 5.
Oh my God! I wanted to punch him in his fucking face. It's like, oh my God! Well, we were trying so hard. All right, go ahead.
I mean, the best case scenario is the Garden's alive. And Jalen, again, from the post-game interviews, Jalen called out Boston and said the energy in the Garden has been
favorite activity is calling out Boston.
But
he does that 3 times before he eats his fucking Wheaties in the morning.
But he said only that the energy's only been okay. We're going to need you to bring it, which means that Garden's going to be alive. If that team comes out hot, that Garden is going to be bumping. Because if you call out Boston in any way whatsoever, they're like, fuck you. You don't call us out. We're Boston. So they go 10 times.
We're going to do a racism.
Yeah, we're going to go. Yeah, exactly. No, game 2 was the only game where it was really like, and even game 1 was hype, wasn't? But game 2 obviously could have what the outcome was. Like they was rocking that night in game 2, but games 1 and game 5,
has a
Like,
bit. It wasn't like
it was okay. It was okay.
Well, let me ask you guys a meta question on that front then. Is the team's responsibility, I mean, I don't even know if there's an answer to this, but is it the team's responsibility to get the crowd going, or is it the crowd's responsibility to get the team going? Is it situational in
I
context?
think it's situational.
Yeah, situational.
I think on Sunday, I think the crowd has a certain responsibility to show up.
Yeah, agreed.
Oh,
agreed.
you know
what time the game is on Sunday?
It's an afternoon game, right?
Is it afternoon?
It hasn't popped up yet. As I said, but unless I know I haven't seen the tweet, but I'm hoping it's 3:30. I'm not trying to be there Sunday night, so I'm hoping it's 3:30. Honestly, I'm trying to be there at 10 o'clock.
They haven't scheduled it yet.
Yeah, so
probably depends on Phoenix and
if they're the only game
Phoenix,
seven,
Denver, right?
if they're the only game seven, they're prime time.
It'll probably be an afternoon game. Like I said, it'd be even better if it was 1 o'clock. Honestly,
not for the Celtics, bro. Have you seen them the last 5 years?
Hey, you're not clearing that building.
It's game 7, bro. It's game 7.
Yeah,
it's game 7. If they don't show up because it's the fucking afternoon, then they don't deserve to fucking win.
Yeah, exactly. But honestly, I mean, there was. I remember the Milwaukee game last year. Even the Miami game 6 last year. I remember being there on the floor when Jimmy went crazy, and I I remember I was holding up the ropes because they had literally right behind me, and I remember Jimmy in the 3 in the corner. I said, I think we're going back to South Beach, guys. That's the
you should have taken that fucking trophy and ran with it.
I said, he's not fucking losing this shit tonight. They may lose in game 7, but I said he's not losing this tonight. So, yeah, but I expect their crowd to be what it was. Game 7 last year against Milwaukee. We had some role players go nuts in that game. So, who knows? Maybe we do the same thing come Sunday.
Worst case scenario here is that we win this game, win the next series, and then lose to the Lakers in the finals. I'm gonna have to find Joe Mazulla and have a conversation with him in person.
Yeah, I just listen. If we win game, so I just want to throw this is like my Jason Garrett PTSD.
Dude, that clapping's killing me from Joe.
But bro, believe me, I fucking know. If anyone knows, I fucking know. If they win tomorrow, but then look like shit in the Eastern Conference Finals and lose, or look like shit in the finals and lose, and we have to sit through another Joe Mazulla season with this bullshit, I'm gonna be pissed. So if you win tomorrow, Celtics, please do me a favor and just win the whole goddamn thing. All right, please, just win the whole goddamn thing. I don't want this in between bullshit for 10 years like I dealt with the Cowboys.
Yeah,
thank you.
Even if we win, we should still fire him. It'll be the first head coach to get fired after. No, I'm serious. I'm not even fucking joking. I don't see how he redeems himself to me from this point forward. I think if we win a championship, it's despite him.
I've done that in 2K, so whatever.
Yeah. I don't even want to fucking think about basketball now for the rest of the night. That was fucking stressful. So for myself, DK Sizzle, for the real BK, Bob Kelly, for Hollywood Ray, Sean Buchanan, thank you so much for wading through the pit of despair that was watching the Celtics win a fucking game of basketball on the road in Philadelphia. Obviously, I want us to win game 7. I'm just not looking forward to the emotional roller coaster that is Joe Mazulla coaching a basketball team. But I would like to leave you with this pearl of wisdom. If we're going to do it to anyone, I'm glad it's Philadelphia. Fuck that whole city. Peace.